Hey guys, Shalon here. Welcome to the Bin Zone. With Umbrella Academy Season 4 right around the corner, on today's video, we're going to be recapping the entirety of Umbrella Academy Season 3. So without further ado, let's just dive into the recap. Season 3 starts off with the Umbrella Academy returning back to their own time, or so they thought. Instead of finding themselves in their own academy, they find themselves in the Sparrow Academy with new students living there and a different Ben. Diego suddenly has a weird hallucination about a footloose moment. Then the Umbrella Academy starts to fight the Sparrows, but unfortunately the Umbrellas get their ass kicked and they flee. While recovering from getting their butts handed to them, Claus tells everyone that because their father didn't want to deal with them, he adopted a new set of kids, but much more accurately, Reginald changed the timeline because of them visiting him back in season 2. The Umbrellas find safety in the Obsidian Hotel. Vanya then goes to meet with Marcus in secret and threatens him to give back number 5's briefcase. Diego's former lover Lila returns to leave their son Stanley with Diego just before she splits. And while looking for the briefcase, Marcus stumbles upon Grace worshipping a ball of energy that after touching it releases a massive shockwave, and afterwards, Marcus is absorbed by it. Vanya transitions into Victor, mimicking Ellen Page's real-life transition to Elliot, and tells Diego, Claus, and number 5 about the deal with Marcus, but there are issues within the group about changing the timeline. The Sparrows then kidnap Luther because they believe that the Umbrellas have kidnapped Marcus. Meanwhile, the ball of energy continues to create an ever-expanding and retracting shockwave that causes animals to disappear. Claus then takes number 5 on a journey to find his birth mother in Pennsylvania, only to eventually find out that she died before he was even born. Meanwhile, Allison begins hallucinating at dinner while waiting for Marcus with Victor, and she eventually leaves, following Harlan into an alleyway but then loses him. After the Sparrows let Luther go, Lila uses Faye's powers to locate and retrieve number 5's briefcase. And back at the hotel, number 5 tells everyone except Luther that going back in time created a grandfather paradox because all their mothers died on the same day before the Umbrellas were born. And while en route back to the hotel, Luther experiences a shockwave. Only this time, the shockwave is causing people to disappear. Number 5's working theory, and he starts to believe that the people are disappearing all over the city, is a result of the grandfather paradox. And after Lila and number 5 fight each other, he discovers that both briefcases that she has are malfunctioning. Faye and Ben meet up with Allison and Victor and strike up a deal to exchange Marcus for the briefcase. But when both Ben and Faye go into the basement to find the briefcase, they see Grace worshipping the ball of energy, which Grace keeps referring to as God, and Faye figures out that God took Marcus. Claus then breaks into the Sparrow Academy in hopes of finding out answers, but he doesn't get the answers he wants from Reginald. So his curiosity eventually leads him down to the basement where he sees Grace talking to God, or the ball of energy. With Lila and number 5 working together, they both manage to muster up enough energy to time travel back to the commission. And a handful of Sparrows arrive at the Obsidian Hotel and attack 4 of the Umbrellas. But just before they kill the Umbrellas, Harlan arrives just in time, saving the Umbrellas after killing 2 Sparrows. In the aftermath, everyone splits up to where Sloane is tracked down and forced by Allison's powers to tell them where the briefcase is, but unfortunately, Sloane doesn't know anything. Number 5 finds out that there is a rip in the space-time continuum that is actually causing the universe to collapse within itself. Luther and Sloane come up with a plan to quell the hatred between the families, but Diego and Allison are not on board. Luther and Victor go ahead and make the exchange anyway, but Ben wants Harlan as part of the deal. Lila and number 5 find the operations bunker, but they also find out that not only is number 5 the founder of the commission, but the ball of energy in the basement is a black hole that is swallowing up all timelines with no way to stop it. While cleaning rooms in the hotel, Stanley and Claus break into the Buffalo suite where Stanley finds a spear gun and accidentally shoots Claus with it. And after Harlan finds the newspaper clippings, he shows Victor that it was he who was responsible for the deaths of all the Umbrella mothers. Faye wants to create an alliance with the Umbrellas to save the world, but Ben doesn't care. Not until he gets Harlan first. Stanley is found by Diego and he tells Diego that he killed Claus. But then Claus comes back to life like 3 minutes later. Now all the Umbrellas now know that the Kugel Blitz is the cause of all disappearances and that all of existence will end in 5 days. Umbrella Academy sure loves these countdowns. Even though Victor doesn't tell the other Umbrellas what Harlan did, They still vote to hand Harlan over to the Sparrows, but Victor, with Allison's help, sneaks him out of the hotel. With Claus's help, number 5 follows the origins of the tattoo he removed from his older self's skin to a biker club, and he finds Pogo tattooing some guy. Obviously, Pogo doesn't trust number 5 and flees, so number 5 chases after him to his trailer. Harlan then works on transferring his powers to Victor, and back at the academy, Ben wants to make Luther a Sparrow, but Luther is hesitant to accept. Stanley has now gone missing, so now they go looking for him behind the wall of the Buffalo suite before Lila drops a truth bomb on Diego, saying Stanley is not actually their love child. And after Harlan transfers all his powers to Victor, Harlan essentially confesses to killing all the Umbrella's mothers to Allison. On the flip side, Lila and Diego are being chased by a Guardian, but manage to escape the portal and run into Stanley just moments before he disappears by the Kugel wave. And while tragic, understandably so, Allison kills and hand delivers Harlan over to the Sparrows, where she finds Luther dressed up as one of them. Reginald has killed and kidnapped Claus in order to experiment on his immortality while listening to Nellie. And the remaining members of both families join at the academy, where Allison tells everyone the truth about Harlan and gets into a fight with Victor. The combined families then go down to the basement and witness the Kugel Blitz, where Sloan and number 5 come up with a plan to contain it, but that plan also requires Victor. Grace tries to stop the families from messing with God, but number 5 teleports her away and kills her. The families then celebrate after successfully creating the Dyson sphere around the Kugel Blitz, but there is still animosity between Allison and Victor. Number 5 has a serious talk with Victor about him going rogue and the fact that he should never do it again. Number 5 actually threatens to kill Victor if he ever goes rogue again. Then there is mutiny within the Sparrows. Right before Christopher, who was containing the Kugel Blitz, is destroyed, and the Kugel Blitz expands, destroying the academy with it. The remaining members of both families meet up at the hotel, where number 5 tells them to stop trying to save the world and accept the fact that the universe is collapsing around them. And wow, that's very depressing, number 5. Claus and Reginald return to the Obsidian, which Reginald owns, by the way, and wants everyone to join him on one final mission, but the majority refuse because in part they're going to Luther and Sloane's wedding. At the wedding, Victor tries to patch things up with Allison, but she refuses to be good again, while Reginald gives a poetic toast. The morning after, Reginald rounds up everyone to discuss his plans to save the universe, which involves the portal that was built inside of the hotel. Allison then finds Victor and decides she is willing to put the past behind her to move forward, but their reconciliation seems ominous. The majority of the family vote against going with Reginald's plan, which needs 7 people in order for it to work. It appears as though Luther has finally made amends with his father, but it was a ploy, as Reginald kills him in order to force the family to come together. Number 5 finally remembers that in his drunken haze the night before, Reginald was talking to Allison in order to use her to bring the family together, but it clearly failed. The Kugel Blitz then begins swallowing the hotel, and this circumstance forces everyone inside the portal, but Reginald pushes Klaus out, who kills himself just before the Kugel Blitz swallows him. Inside Hotel Oblivion, everyone splits up, and number 5 confronts Allison about the deal she made with Reginald, which he believes she got Klaus killed and Luther killed. Klaus inexplicably finds a way into Hotel Oblivion and confronts Reginald, who not long after incapacitates Klaus and rings the bell to call forth 3 Guardians. Hotel Oblivion is revealed to be a giant puzzle that continues to split people up as they all try to fight against the Guardians. 2 out of the 3 Guardians have been killed before everyone reconvenes in the lobby, and Klaus tells everyone that Reginald killed them and Luther just before the last Guardian shows up. Number 5 figures out the sigils on the floor, so everyone but Allison stands on a star and manages to gather up enough energy to not only defeat the final Guardian, but power up a weird space-time machine. Allison kills Reginald and saves her family from the machine, and afterwards she touches a red button, which resets the universe to a point in time where everyone, including a resurrected Luther, don't have their powers. And the season ends with everyone splitting up, going their separate ways, and a resurrected Reginald looking out the window holding hands with his resurrected wife, Abigail. And guys, that is the recap for season 3. Everything that you need to know for season 4 in this video. And guys, if you like this video and you found it helpful, give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. And until next time, peace.